Hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln, and welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene, presented by Jimmy's Egg. Along with the coaches, Gil Clyde, the athletic director of the Tulsa Public School System, and the Hall of Fame coach himself, J.B. Haney. Guys, got a busy lineup, a lot of things to talk about. A lineup that starts with the Super Bowl 52 recap. What a game end. Who picked the Philadelphia Eagles? Coach Clyde.
I did.
Coach, you weren't worried at all, were you?
Well, I tell you, when we looked at and to hear what Steve had said last week about the defense being so tough, and I thought it was really funny because one time during the end there, the third quarter, the start of the fourth quarter, Chris Collinsworth said, "You know, I know they're really tough, but it looks like they're wearing down a little bit." And then they come up with that at the end. Tremendous.
That big sack fumble made the difference.
Difference in the game. Two things: the sack fumble, and the quarterback scoring the touchdown.
Yeah.
Throwing the pass. I think those two things really caught them off guard, and uncharacteristically, the special teams for New England were not as adept. I mean, dropping the extra point. I mean, and then missing the next extra point. You're thinking. And you see what Belichick said on the sidelines.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Hey, we got a great friend of all of ours, Big Al Jerkens, the legend of Channel 2 and the sports animal, going to be with us to talk all kinds of things sports. And, of course, he's getting ready to retire and head down to Florida like all New Yorkers do. Big Al will be on with us for a couple of seconds. We'll have fun with that. And we got a couple of the Barkley boys, we say, are going to be here for talk basketball.
Well, if you can imagine coaching 1,000 games in one high school.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what Coach Barkley has done. And, you know, we have seen them play recently. They're a fun team to watch. And I'm just really excited about what he's going to tell us about 1,000 games.
Well, Clyde Barkley is the father. We also have the son here.
Yeah, Justin Barkley is a coach at Rogers State University. They made the transition to NCAA Division II about 2 years ago, traveling all over the Southwest.
Right.
They got St. Edwards in Austin, and they've been to Houston Baptist, and they've been around. And I think it's great for Rogers State to be in Division II. I think it gives them a position there, and he's really done a great job there. So we're glad to have both the Barkleys.
Yeah. And you know what, Gil? We go over there quite frequently and watch because Bill Land has a son that's an assistant coach. And as a result of it, the attendance is increasing. It seems like the interest in Rogers State in everything they do is increasing every month. So that's a good news, I think.
Big basketball event coming up this week in February the 10th at the BOK Center. It's the Hoop Showcase, Gil, and it really is a showcase all day.
It is all day, and I think it's something that 4 years ago when we got together with the SMG and the BOK folks, we wanted to have something that showcased high school basketball in the state of Oklahoma, especially northeastern a corner of Oklahoma. And really, when you look at this, we start at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the last game starts at 8 o'clock in the evening. If you're a basketball junkie, you need to be at the BOK at 9 o'clock in the morning.
And you know, it really seems like every time that you go down for this particular event that you see people in there that you won't see at a regular high school game. So I think it's just a great event for people to come that enjoy high school basketball.
I know the SMG people are really excited about it. Some of their sister organizations, like in Kansas City and Dallas, they do the same thing. And so they wanted to do this, and it's a community outreach. They're not going to make a lot of money off this deal, but it opens up their doors to some people who normally may not come to the BOK to make them more comfortable and to see great high school basketball.
Oklahoma Sports Scene, this is the first show of the month, which means, of course, we also announce our Prep Player and Coach of the Month, our friend Barry Lewis, from the Tulsa World, going to be here to give us all that information. We'll be announcing that for you on the show here. All right, guys, a little time to talk about Super Bowl 52. Again, Gil Clyde had the winner of that, but Coach, I tell you, give the Eagles all kinds of credit there. It was supposed to be a defensive. Remember, we spent 8.5 hours of pregame analysis, and then everybody was blown away because nobody could stop anybody.
I think, you know, one of the things that really amazed me was you have a rookie backup quarterback that comes in and executes as well as he did. And everybody talks about Brady threw for 500. You know, they threw for 500, but here's the difference. 8 minutes difference in time of possession. Philadelphia had the ball 8 minutes that Brady could not have it to throw. Just think if he had it those 8 minutes, he'd probably throw 600 or 700 yards. But I think the thing is their defense played well, and they executed when they had to at the end of the game on defense to be able to stop them.
Great thing about it, it was just a great football game to watch, JB.
Well, and you know what, you were talking about the quarterbacks. I thought Nick Foles did a tremendous job. And the fact that even though he had not been the starter until in December sometime when he finally moved in, but I thought he was just remarkable and did so in such a way that you wouldn't have thought that he had not been a starter for a long time.
Exactly.
Well, get ready. Big Al Jerkens is on deck. We'll have the sportscaster from Channel 2 and the Sports Animal be our special guest the next 2 segments. You don't want to miss this. It's Oklahoma Sports Scene, brought to you by Jimmy's Egg.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lovers skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, you won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
It's got to be real barbecue, right? Not some frozen meat cooked who knows where, who knows when, and then trucked in. No, it's got to be the finest cuts. It's got to be a lot of choices, like 9 different meats. It's got to be fast for dine-in, carry-out, or catering. It's got to be smoked fresh right there that day over aged pecan wood. It's got to be the place where all the barbecue wannabes take a back seat, because they can't compete. It's got to be real barbecue, right? It's got to be Billy Sims.
Billy Sims Barbecue. Eat like a champion today.
Really pleased here at Oklahoma Sports Scene to be welcoming in Big Al himself. Al, how are you doing, my friend?
All right, man.
Al
Everything good?
Jerkens. We've been together since the 70s, I guess. There it is, guys. All right, give us some of your background on TV. When did you first appear in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Big Al?
1979, September.
Wow.
And I remember my first OU game was Dallas.
Oh,
and I drove about 120 miles an hour to get there in time because it was a last-second thing.
Yeah.
And that was Billy Sims' post Heisman win.
Okay.
So, but that was my first experience, and the rest is history, I guess.
35 years at NBC Channel 2 here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. A little break there to go to Wichita, was it, for a year or two? Or?
Went to Wichita for 8 months, and then went to Nashville for 2.5.
Okay.
And then came back.
But I go back to the Green Bay days. That's the formative TV. Talk about your time in Green Bay in TV
awesome.
sports.
Well, Green Bay, Bart Starr was the head coach of the Packers. And there were 3 stories to cover in Green Bay. The Packers, bowling, and ice fishing. Okay, so we'd flip a coin on who'd get the Packers and who'd get the ice fishing, right? But no, even as bad as the Packers were then, we went to every practice, every single day, every single month. It didn't matter. And if you did not have the Packer cuts before they were released, you were not doing your job. That's how cutthroat it was back then. It was really something, but it was special. It gave me a great learning opportunity. Here I am, just out of college, and getting to cover a pro team was just awesome, and I'll never forget that. But Bart Starr, as bad of a head coach as he was a great person, is a great person, was a great player, and he was so genuine and so kind to me. He knew I was as green as grass in the reporting department. I'll never forget, there was one incident. We were out ice fishing, and the Packers make a move to get Bobby Douglas from the Chicago Bears, and we didn't make it back from our ice fishing trip in time. And he's doing his laps around Lambeau to stay in shape. He looked at me and said, "You missed the press conference?" And then he wound up doing a one-on-one interview with me instead, which was, and in our business, that's better than doing a press conference thing,
no
right?
doubt, for sure.
So I will never forget him as long as I live.
Great.
He was a tremendous help in my
How in the world did you get to Wisconsin Platteville from New York?
It was the only school I got accepted. Well, I'm really going to embarrass myself here. But my high school girlfriend, my high school sweetheart's brother went to Platteville. And I went out there and visited. We went out there and visited, and we loved it, and I liked it. And I'll admit it was like slow motion for me at first growing up in New York. But I got acclimated to it, and I'm so glad I did it. It was, yes, Wisconsin, Platteville, southwest corner. It was the summer home of the Chicago Bears for a long time. That's where they would have their training camps.
Well, when you went to Wichita, then you go to Tennessee.
Yes.
Why did you come back to Tulsa? What?
Well, it was kind of a strange situation for me in Nashville. Our sports department went from 3 to 1 in less than 4 days. And I was the one left. One was fired, and one unfortunately had a heart attack. So I'm there, and I'm the only guy in the sports department at this given time. So I'm wondering whether or not I'm going to get this job. And a month turns into 2. We're still doing research. We're trying to figure out if you're the right guy for the job. So in the meantime, Jerry Weber calls me, says, "Hey, Al, I'm moving to news. What would you think about coming back and being our sports director?" And I took it within, it took me about 15 minutes to make that decision. And I came back, and I started here Labor Day weekend of September of '86.
Wow. I tell you, I go back a long ways with Al in other sports world, thoroughbred racing. His father, people don't know, of course, is the late great Alan the Giant Killer Jerkens, the youngest thoroughbred trainer ever inducted into the Racing Hall of Fame. Just an absolute legend in the sport. And he tells some great stories, and everybody wonders, because your brother Jimmy's in the business, why isn't Big Al, why, and you love the game, why weren't you a trainer?
Well, my brother Steve's in it as well. But yes, there is this one main reason why I'm not in horse racing. I'm allergic to the animals.
Oh, Al.
And my favorite story that Dad loves to tell, whenever I tell people, they ask me, "Why aren't you in the horse racing business?" I say, "Well, I just can't be around the animals. I'm sneezing, my eyes are blowing up." And all that. Hey, he's allergic to getting up at 5 every morning. Tell the truth, Alan, will you?
There you go.
And so, and there is some truth to that. I'm not an early riser.
You got to tell me the Christmas story with your dad. Typical trainer.
On Christmas Day morning, I swear we were up before Santa Claus could leave, because we had to open our presents by 4 in the morning and breakfast at 4:30. Because he was afraid on Christmas Day that a lot of the workers wouldn't show up, and we had to get to work earlier.
That's right, the horses.
So yes, exactly. So we would have our Christmas earlier than
good.
We would go to bed, but he'd wake us up to open the presents.
Well, people across the state, Al, so they know you also on the Sports Animal. You and Pat Jones. How many years been with the coach and doing
Been
Sports
12
Animal?
now. 12.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's like a fun time. You guys do a great job.
It
with
is. I got to be honest with you. It's not work at all. I mean, it's kind of like this. We're sitting around here BSing about sports, right? Well, how tough can it be to sit around, with the only difference is there's a microphone in front of you.
Yeah.
And my only wish about doing the radio show with Pat, I hope he doesn't kill me for this, if it was simulcast. If you could see his actions on television, be priceless. If there's a call, because I'm in charge of the call thing, so if there's a caller on there that he doesn't want any more of, he's looking at me while he's talking.
And drinking his Red Bull.
Yes.
Jeez.
So that's the only thing that I wish we could do on television, do the radio on television.
What's really funny is when he's by himself.
Right.
And you can tell he cuts them off right there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, goodbye.
Well, have a nice day.
Big Al's had a real impact on high school sports in this area too, Gil.
There's no question.
Yeah.
To see him, and when I left and then came back in 2012, and to see Al and his colleagues out there with the cameras themselves, having to shoot the high school things on Thursday and Friday night, but to be able to carry the scores and do the highlights like you did. There are not many places that still does that.
Well, people always say, "Why did you stay in Tulsa this long?" And I will always say this as long as I live: there isn't a better place to cover sports, because on Thursdays and Fridays you've got the best high school football or basketball or whatever. On Saturday you've got Division I football. Then on Sundays you've got a lot of our players playing in the National Football League. What could be better than that? It's awesome. Yeah. It is great.
We got another segment with Big Al coming up. We're going to talk Super Bowl and talk the Winter Olympics and much more with Big Al Jerkens on Oklahoma Sports Scene. But first, we have a Greater Tulsa report from J.B. Haney.
Well, always a pleasure to talk about the GTR, because when you take a look at Forrest Cameron, what he and his wife Shannon have done in getting this information throughout the metropolitan areas. There are 6 of these different papers, but each one of them will have sports, and in this one especially, they've got a sports report on Terrell Lester about being inducted into the Hall of Fame for the Tulsa Public Schools. And now a lot of people remember that, so they will enjoy it. But there is science, there's politics, there's opinions. Whatever you want, you will find in the GTR. So I'd encourage you, pick up one today. You'll enjoy it.
My name is Junior Itu, and I'm from the Republic of Congo in Africa. The struggle was the language, the culture was a lot different compared to where I'm from. I'm thankful and grateful to be here, and it's a place where I feel like it was a perfect fit for me. The thing I like best about Tulsa and play basketball here is the fans. You know, they come out here every day and show support and show love. From the Republic of Congo, I play for our city.
Celebrate your home today at Bowen's Discount Carpet for our Shop and Compare sale. Take advantage of our guaranteed lowest prices you can find, great deals on new Shaw floors, and a huge variety of brands and colors that you will have to see to believe. Let Shaw Floors spice up your space, along with 36 years of experience, and the beauty of your floors will shine. Come out to Bowen's, where we refuse to be undersold.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Remington Park is now officially open around the clock. That's right, we are 24/7.
We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight.
So when we say the party never ends, you better believe it. Remington Park, now open 24/7.
Jimmy's Egg bringing you Oklahoma Sports Scene in our second segment with Big Al Jerkens, the legendary sportscaster from Channel 2 and the sports animal here in Tulsa. Now let's talk some sports. We got all the Big Al stuff out of the way. Talk some sports. Your impressions, Super Bowl 52, and I understand, like Gil Cloud, you picked the Philadelphia Eagles.
I picked the Eagles to win, but not by that kind of score. I thought it was going to be like a 24-20 game. I thought the defenses would show up a little bit.
Unbelievable, yeah.
No, the reason I was rooting for New England is because I don't like Philadelphia fans and what they do to my favorite animal, even though I sneeze when I get around them. But Nick Foles just wasn't getting the consideration. I thought he's not a second-string quarterback.
No.
Doesn't he hold a record for most touchdown passes in a single game with 7? Mm-hmm. He did that.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy wasn't a backup quarterback, and I thought by the time we got to this game that people would maybe realize it. But how can the winner of the NFC still be an underdog in every playoff game?
Everyone, yeah.
I thought it was a great game, though.
Yeah, that's
no question.
Great to watch. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing about Foles, he made himself a lot of money.
Ooh, yeah.
These last 6 or 7 weeks.
All right, so is he still with the Eagles next year? Then?
I would think probably not.
No, probably not. Find another
Carson
place.
Wentz is as good as there is. I mean, they have 2 quality quarterbacks.
But the question is he going to be ready for that first game? They're concerned about that, so I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. Yeah. But I really think that Foles can play anywhere. He can play for any team.
Yeah.
And so you look maybe. Not Gruden. He's got a quarterback. Who needs a quarterback?
Well, half the teams in the National Football.
How about Kansas City?
Kansas City, yes.
Cleveland always.
Yeah. No, Foles wouldn't be. He's smarter than that.
Yeah, I know.
Cleveland. Oh my gosh, no.
No, I think everybody expected it to be the type of game it turned out to be. But when you take a look, New England, just by numbers, they weren't scheduled to win it. Although I thought they would, and I picked them. Mm-hmm. But it seems like that when you get into that type of athletics, that you're not going to continue to win. And what were they going for, the 3rd in a row? And that's not good.
Fearless.
And
Yeah,
that basically
8th overall, 6th overall.
But getting back to Foles, there were 2 passes that he threw, even Tom Brady couldn't have thrown. The touchdown to Jeffrey, the first touchdown was perfectly thrown and perfectly caught.
Right.
But the pass that he threw for that big first down, when he beat that triangle defense and just put it in the exact right spot, to me, hardly anybody can do that. So, Aaron Rodgers maybe, but no, I tell you that was some kind of pass, and he played some kind of game, and I thought the Peterson game plan was absolutely sensational. In all phases.
I think the play calling that Peterson used was unbelievable.
He was aggressive, wasn't he, Coach?
Well,
I love that.
After the game, he said, "I was going to be aggressive. We got here being aggressive. I wasn't going to play just to win. We were going to play to try to score another touchdown." And they did.
That 4th and 1 in the 4th quarter, Al. And he goes for it, and he leads that field goal and helped make the difference to 8 points. But so 41-33, the Eagles beat the Patriots. Some of the records set in Super Bowl 52, most combined total yards. Almost experts. This can be a defensive struggle. 1,151 yards, 505 yards by Tom Brady is an all-time postseason record. Postseason, everything included. Most points by a losing team, Patriots 33. Most passing yards in a Super Bowl, 874. And here's the big stat, though, $5 billion bet, they said, nationwide, and about $140 million legally in Vegas.
Did you know that this was the first Super Bowl that New England scored a point in the first quarter? All their
I heard that this morning.
My gosh.
How about that?
Wow.
But anyway,
unbelievable. Hey.
So I'm playing the violin for Tom Brady.
Yeah, there you go.
He needs after the game, and he gets a hug from Giselle after the game. Geez, my heart breaks.
And by the way, the odds are already out on who's going to Super Bowl 53 in 2019. Surprise, at 6-1, Al, the New England Patriots. Second choice, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-1. Eagles then are at 12-1, along with, let's see, who else is 12-1? No, the Dallas Cowboys are 20-1. The Packers are also 12-1. And your New York football Giants are 75-1.
The New York field goal Giants. That's what
it's been a big month.
The New York fantasy Giants. Been a flag football Giants. Anything but football.
Been a big month for NBC.
Well, hey, they were credited with the best commercial.
That's
the
right.
Giants, Eli and Beckham doing the dirty dancing thing.
That's right.
They won something this year. Hey,
the dance contest.
Yeah,
there we go.
I'm surprised Beckham didn't fall on Eli and break his shoulder or something.
Hey, we got great month for NBC Sports. Besides the Super Bowl, now of course they take over the month of February, the Winter Olympics in South Korea.
Yeah, I'm still curious. As long as I've lived in Tulsa, how much interest there is for Winter Olympics in Tulsa. And maybe you guys can help me out with this, because it seems like the Winter Olympics are more, obviously they're winter sports, but does Tulsa get excited about the U.S. hockey team until they get to the gold medal round, or do we like to see the skiing, the gold medal there? The figure skating? Where do you think this town fits into that group?
Well, I think what happens is when they see it on TV, and they get to following it. There's a lot of promotion, and before long, you kind of, you get interested in it. I do, and I wouldn't be watching a lot of it during a regular season time.
Right.
But when it gets to the Olympics, I'll be watching.
I think you're right because of the TV. One of the things we always noticed when I was in the high school business before, that anytime the Olympics came around and gymnastics was in, the numbers that we had in our gymnastics program would go up for the next 3 or 4 years, and then it would wane some, and then it'd be back on TV again. I think what's out there and what people watch, they want to be a part of, and little kids watch that, and they grow up wanting to be involved in those things.
And the key is the USA being involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. It's very nationalistic, obviously. And it starts February 8th, some figure skating stuff, and then the opening ceremony is on the 9th, and then it really gets rolling till the 25th of February.
All right. Does this show really want to get involved? I say the four of us do a bobsled ride.
There we go.
Can you see the four of us on a bobsled right now?
I don't see one. Who can say a bobsled that big?
Yeah, there you go.
Who can push this thing? Our knees are all shot.
I'll tell you one thing. The weight would keep us grounded to the ice.
We're not going to fly out of the chute, I guarantee you. Oh, my.
What are you looking forward to most in the Winter Olympics, Al?
I'm a hockey guy, so I'm interested in seeing
both men's and women's.
Well, the NHL players aren't involved in the hockey this year, so it'd be interesting. I've always been a hockey guy, so I will keep an eye on that.
I love the hockey too. You know, before I moved to Tulsa as a junior in high school, I lived in Louisville. And I was a stick boy for the Louisville Rebels, which was in the International Hockey League, but I played on the amateur team. And we lived for 8 months in Saskatoon when I was in the 2nd grade, and I learned how to skate. And so I came back to Louisville, and they had the hockey team. So I've always been a hockey fan.
Those real teeth you're wearing?
Real teeth. And I played goalie, but for the mask, no mask. The professional team one time was practicing, and there was scrimmage. And so I was there, the stick boy. We got to be the other goalie. So I go down to try to block the deal, and the guy hits me aside, knocks me out. You know, I never did tell my parents that. But
before we let Big Al go, and he's retiring, heading down to Florida, like all New Yorkers. What a surprise. But Al, we have some parting gifts, starting with Jimmy's Egg, right?
Yeah, Jimmy's Egg.
All right. Oh, that's good.
That's breakfast.
Everybody needs a Jimmy's Egg breakfast.
Fantastic.
Thank you. You bet. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And this is from all of us here.
Oh, thank
Miss
you.
Becky wrapped it up. Open this up now, Al.
Becky wrapped it.
Oh,
I'm afraid to tear it apart now.
I know it, see?
You want me to open it?
Yeah, please. You have to open it on the set here for us.
Oh, wow.
Oh, tissue paper. Lots of tissue
We
paper.
have a lot of that.
Oh,
wow. A
Get
Ron
tissue paper out of the
Jones hat,
way.
just like my old man used to wear.
Al, move this paper out of the way here. Throw it on the floor.
Right.
Look at that.
Thank you very much.
And wait, did you get your other gift?
Oh, is there another?
No, there's another one in here, too.
Oh, beautiful.
All right.
Ron Johns, we're going to live about 5 minutes from this shop.
There you
that,
go.
don't
All
you?
right.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, fellas.
Gil's got one,
we
too.
want to make you an honorary coach.
Okay.
Tulsa Public Schools.
All right.
So there's your coaching shirt.
Well, I've been coaching in the Tulsa Public Schools ever since I got here.
I heard that. I heard that. And here's your coaching hat.
All right, thanks, guys.
Al, don't be a stranger. You'll get back here, won't you?
I'll be back.
Right,
I appreciate it very much, guys.
Thank you, Al, so much.
JD.
Thanks for all the
It's
years.
been great.
Al, thank
Gil,
you for everything.
Terrific
Appreciate
job.
it.
You do a terrific job, my friend. Unbelievable. All right.
Stay right here. I'm going to sell some Jimmy's Egg for you right now, Big Al. The Jimmy's Egg is the place for breakfast and lunch, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Might catch Big Al down there, in fact. Now you can eat, by the way, it's half-price pancakes, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. It's called Pancake Happy Hours. About that. Right. Jimmy's Egg locations across the state of Oklahoma.
That's
right.
Until you go see your doctor.
3 in the Tulsa metro area. So get on to Peoria, Memorial Drive, or Kenosha and Broken Arrow. Jimmy's Egg just opened new restaurants, by the way, in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Springfield, Missouri. And a reminder, Jimmy's Egg also being open all day President's Day, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. February 19th. So Jimmy's Egg, the place for breakfast. Big Al, again, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much, guys.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
It's got to be real barbecue, right? Not some frozen meat cooked who knows where, who knows when, and then trucked in. No, it's got to be the finest cuts. It's got to be a lot of choices, like 9 different meats. It's got to be fast for dine-in, carry-out, or catering. It's got to be smoked fresh right there that day over aged pecan wood. It's got to be the place where all the barbecue wannabes take a back seat, because they can't compete. It's got to be real barbecue, right? It's got to be Billy Sims.
Billy Sims Barbecue. Eat like a champion today.
Well, sure, the Barkley boys are going to be here for Oklahoma Sports Scene in this edition, brought to you by Jimmy's Egg. Start first with the head basketball coach at Rogers State University, Justin Barkley. His dad's going to follow the next segment here. But Justin, welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene.
I appreciate you guys having me.
I cannot believe your 8th season with the Hillcats in Claremore.
Well, time has really flown. I remember 8 years ago, you was actually one of the few sportscasters that was there to cover us. Right. But it was a really exciting day, and can't believe every time they introduce our team and say Justin Barkley, 8th year, man, it's flown by.
5 20-win seasons, coach, including the Heartland Championship when you were 15-5 in the 2015-16 season. So he's done
a great job there. Tell us about the transition that you made into Division II and what may be in the future.
Well, first of all, when we made that move from the Sooner Athletic Conference of NEI basketball and the rest of our sports programs, when we made the move to NCAA Division II, we obviously knew that was going to be a challenge. But I think the most challenging thing for me as a head coach and as a recruiter is to try to convince student athletes to trust what we're doing and not be able to play in postseason for 3 years. And that was very challenging. And our last year, through that transition, we actually won the Heartland Conference Championships. And we've been fortunate to have some really good talent from the local area high schools that have really blossomed and just developed into good quality young men that's really kind of carried the flag for us as now we are full-fledged members. We're now in our second year into the Heartland Conference, competing for postseason. So we've been very blessed to have some good student athletes. But yeah, it's a challenge for sure, but not too far down the horizon, we'll be making even a bigger move as the Heartland Conference is going to merge with the Lone Star Conference, and it's going to be the largest NCAA Division II athletic conference in America, which, there's over 300 Division II schools, and it's going to be us in the Heartland, and we're going to be a Lone Star member going forward the year after next.
You talk about recruiting. How fertile is the basketball talent in Oklahoma?
It's better than you think. We've been very fortunate that the last 3 years at Rogers State, we've had the League Player of the Year the last 3 years. And 2 out of those 3 years have been four-year players. One was J.C. Hartzler from Union High School. Was a 4-year letterman for us, and actually the school's all-time leading scorer. And the other one is Jalen Sharp from Ketchum High School, Class 2A school. And we've been very fortunate to have some all-league players, some guys that have just really bought in to our identity and who we are and how we go about doing things. And I think it's really helped grow our product. If you looked at our roster, over 60 to 70% of our guys on our roster have been from Northeast Oklahoma. And I think that's been a large part of our attendance really spiking. One thing I've been really proud of, we've been the most attended men's basketball program for small colleges in the state over the last 10 years. So really excited what we're building, and really we've got a bright future going forward.
Great.
Well, I think you and your staff have done a tremendous job on recruiting from the smaller high schools, because so many times in the smaller high school, like the young man from Ketchum, he was a great ball player. But I'm sure as a senior in high school, maybe you couldn't anticipate what he would be as a senior in college. So as a result of it, I think you have really encouraged high school basketball from the smaller schools in the state of Oklahoma.
Well, I'll be honest, it's a little bit of my background. Someone gave me a chance when I played at a Class 3A school at Inola, Coach Gibson, and I owe a lot to him and my dad. That's really kind of who's made me who I am as a coach. But I've always said there's good players out there. You just got to be willing to go do a little digging.
Yep.
And the small school ranks has been really good to us. We've got some on our roster right now. One from Verdigris High School, one from Stillwell High School. We've had multiple players from Ketchum, and the list goes on. Kellyville High School. Those guys coming from Class 3A and 4A and below, we feel like there's good play out there. You just got to be willing to go find a diamond in the rough.
Looking ahead, Justin, February 8th coming up. St. Edward's coming there at 7:30 at Rogers State University. Then February 21st, Newman comes in for a 7:30 tip, and it winds up the home regular season. February 24th, Oklahoma Christian at 3 p.m. And then, actually, the Heartland Conference right here in Tulsa, right?
Very excited about that. Yeah, very excited. This will be year 2 of hosting the Heartland Conference Championships at Union High School. We had good crowds last year, expecting that product to grow even more this year.
And a nice gift here for the coach.
I tell you what, when you have breakfast, you get up early to go recruiting, Jimmy's Egg is the best place in town.
I love it.
And they're all over the Midwest.
They are. And I'm going to tell you more about it. You stay right here because your dad's coming on pretty soon. We'll get the real story on Justin in a moment here.
Right.
Hey, Jimmy's Egg Restaurants, of course, open 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. all over the state of Oklahoma, including free right here in the Tulsa area. I want to remind you can get a burger at 7 a.m. or you can get eggs at 1 p.m., no problem. Jimmy's Egg Restaurants, I love these stats here. They fresh crack over 7.5 million eggs a year. You can enjoy their famed omelets 40,000 ways. Those are some great numbers here. That's right, 40,000 ways. Nothing like Jimmy's Egg. Go enjoy 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Jimmy's Egg, the sponsor of Oklahoma Sports Scene.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene. It's the Barkley boys joining us. You already met Coach Justin Barkley, the head basketball coach at Rogers State University. And over here, this is Papa. This is Coach Papa. Welcome, Clyde, Barkley. Gil, I tell you, we went out January 30th to a very special game at Inola High School.
You know, it's always great to go to a Class 3A gymnasium. All the fans were there, and it's really a special thing for the community. And we don't see a lot of that sometimes in the city, you know, but it's an event, isn't it, Clyde?
Yes, it is. Inola is a special place. Inola has a lot of tradition in basketball, and it dates back, you say, back in the 50s. It goes back in the 60s, and it was carried on. You know, we have a lot of tradition there, and we have a lot of fans that still loves coming to basketball games even today.
41 years at Inola High School. The last 39 as a head coach, and we were there for his 1,000th game. Gil, how many coaches you know coach at one school 1,000 games?
Well, that doesn't even count the junior high games.
That's right, yeah. My gosh.
I told my players the other day, I said, not counting junior high, which I coach junior high also, and summer leagues, team camps. You imagine all the things we do in the summertime.
Wow.
That's not even counting those. So
yeah.
it is a blessing.
You think?
I don't know. I'm about that.
Junior high, my goodness.
Some of them, they presented a really nice plaque before the game, which coach knew nothing about. But over 650 wins, 24 district championships, 17 regional championships, the 1998 state championship, numerous Coach of the Year honors. He's in the Hall of Fame from Northeastern State University, Oklahoma Coaches Hall of Fame, Oklahoma Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame. JB, what do you say?
Listen, I can't touch Clyde Barkley.
1,001 squad.
My goodness. Can you?
No, I wouldn't even be close to that. What's made this guy such a special coach, JV?
The what now?
What's made him such a special coach, lasting all these years in this place?
I couldn't answer that. How he has stayed at Inola, which is referred to as a country school.
Yeah, sure.
And how he has been there that many years, won that many games, and I know you had to make a few parents mad somewhere along the line. And I'm sure that they would try to get after you. But it's just remarkable what he's done.
I give all the credit to my college coach, Jack Dobbins. My high school coach was Wally Ryle. And my junior high coaches I grew up with. My coaches was a big influence in my life. And they always taught me the right things. And so I give them all the credit for I told Coach Dobbins the other day, I talked to him on the phone and said, Coach, my career wouldn't be where it's at without you. And he has been a great role model in my life. And other coaches in my profession, the Bill Allens, the Ken Hayes, the guys like that, it didn't get to me, really have.
And you know the thing that really gets me about Clyde, and I'm sure that Justin follows along, is the fact that once they find out someone like Bill Allen, as an example, we were close, that you will use the positive aspects of what those guys laid out for you and then make it very profitable.
Like I said, Coach Dobbins, and Coach Allen, they always taught me the little things, and then hard work, and that was awful special to me. And it was really, really good for those guys to be part of my life.
Justin, what kind of influence has this guy been on you in your career?
Well, I was honestly talking to my staff a little bit about this the other day, kind of reflecting. Honestly, as long as I can remember, he's let me go along with him to coaching clinics, to tag along by sitting on the end of the bench. If coaching didn't work out for me, because this is what I know, I'm not sure what I would be any good at. And I'm not sure if I'm any good at what I do, but my dad has had obviously a major hand. I would not be in the coaching profession if it wasn't for him. His drive, his passion, be able to talk to him after every game, win or lose. If it's his game or my game, it's kind of refreshing to be able to bounce a lot of ideas off him. And like you said, JV, such positive people has really influenced our coaching philosophy, our background, that's really allowed us to enjoy what we do. It's not just about wins and losses.
And your wife, Emily, of course, athletic director, Union High School, right, Gil?
Yep. Emily was a soccer player when I was the athletic director there.
Oh, my gosh.
Back in the years. But, and what a great job she's done.
Yeah,
and of course,
absolutely.
that's a tremendous influence, I think, to have the athletic director.
There's no question. Anytime that I want to go home frustrated about any problems I might have, she's a great sounding board. Really fortunate to have her in my life, and she's been really good. She's obviously can calm the water really quickly for me.
Coach's wife is incredible. Oh, correct, Clyde?
Yes, I've got the best coach's wife. Like I said, she's missed only about 3 or 4 basketball games in my career. We got married at Northeastern. I was a junior. She's going to be a sophomore, and we've been married several years. So.
Well,
but I tell you what, she's been my rock. She really has.
I've got a good one too. Somebody said we've been married 52 years about 2 weeks ago, and said, how do you stay married 52 years? And I said, well, I've been coaching, so I've only been home 26. And you understand that. Both of you understand that.
Well, we had a great time, and I know the coach, a fabulous group of people out there, and great support for your program. And that kid hit a damn free throw or layup, and he won the game with that.
Oh, that's just sports. It happens, and like I said, great game.
It really was.
Now, there's something I want to ask you. Now, here you've coached 1,000 games, and watching you coach just as enthusiastic as if it were maybe your first or second year. How much longer are you going to be coaching?
I've asked that question. I talked to Coach Dobbins, and he said, as long as you feel you still enjoy it. And I said, yes, I do. He said, as long as you enjoy it, stay with it. And, I tell my players, I can't play the game no more, but I play the game through my players. I mean, I'm every rebound, every shot, I'm playing the game through them as a coach. And I really enjoy that. I really do.
Got something for Coach here?
I'll tell you what, Clyde, I know all the long hours and everything you spend, and we would love for you to have a Jimmy's Egg card.
Thank you very much.
Justin has one, so you both can take your wives out to breakfast.
All right.
Thanks again. The Barkley boys, congratulations on great careers. So yours is just really starting. His is just going to keep going and going. Again, Justin, Clyde, thanks for joining us here.
Thank you for being with you guys today. I appreciate that.
We have more basketball to talk about. The big BOK High School Showcase is coming up. We'll have that coming up next on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
It's got to be real barbecue, right? Not some frozen meat cooked who knows where, who knows when, and then trucked in. No, it's got to be the finest cuts. It's got to be a lot of choices, like 9 different meats. It's got to be fast for dine-in, carry-out, or catering. It's got to be smoked fresh right there that day over aged pecan wood. It's got to be the place where all the barbecue wannabes take a back seat, because they can't compete. It's got to be real barbecue, right? It's got to be Billy Sims.
Billy Sims Barbecue. Eat like a champion today.
Rising from the plains of Oklahoma is a destination for scholars and thinkers, dreamers and doers. This is where hope, hard work, and integrity create tomorrow's catalysts for change. And excellence is the standard demanded not only of your head, but your heart. This is Oklahoma State University, America's brightest orange.
Celebrate your home today at Bowen's Discount Carpet for our Shop and Compare sale. Take advantage of our guaranteed lowest prices you can find, great deals on new Shaw floors, and a huge variety of brands and colors that you will have to see to believe. Let Shaw Floors spice up your space, along with 36 years of experience, and the beauty of your floors will shine. Come out to Bowen's, where we refuse to be undersold.
Here in Tulsa, we're really blessed to have some of the great sports facilities here. Builder Stadium, certainly, the Mabee Center, obviously, the great UMAC Center out there, the University of Tulsa, the Reynolds Center. But the star of the show of the city of Tulsa has to be the BOK. Joining us now is Evan Falat, who is their Director of Business Development. Talk about what's going on at the BOK, and of course the high school basketball showcase is a big event coming up this weekend. But Evan, first, give us a little background on the BOK, a very special anniversary year for you folks there.
We do, yeah. This is our 10th anniversary, and we're really excited. It's one of those things that I don't think anyone ever really expected us to have the success we have, and it's a testimony to just the great Tulsa community and all of Oklahoma, really.
And I guess it's amazing to me, every time we look at the ratings or rankings of top facilities nationwide, the BOK is always mentioned.
We are, yeah. We've had a great run. You know, most arenas, you might have a little bit of a honeymoon phase the first couple of years, but I mean, we're going on 10 years now. Back in 2016, we won Arena of the Year, beating out some of the biggest arenas in the country and some of major cities across the U.S. And
of course, home of our Tulsa Oilers, but I know, Gil, you're excited about the fact of big basketball weekend coming up for the BOK and Tulsa Public Schools.
BOK a showcase about 5 years ago. We sat down with the SMG folks that manage the BOK, and they want to do something to outreach in the community. Thought that was something that really be important, part of their mission statement, to be a part of the community. And so we put together for 2 years probably some of the best basketball games to be played in the city, because they were matchups of key people who needed to beat other key people in that. And then we had an off year for a couple of years, and now we're back. And we're really excited about being back because it gives the student athletes the opportunity to play in a world-class facility. Right. I mean, there's no question about that. It's an NBA-style facility, and so for the kids to be able to experience that in the matchups, and what our schools have to do, and these are schools from all over Northeast Oklahoma. Right. What they have to do is they literally give up a home game to bring it here for this week. And now the BOK folks have been very gracious about a guarantee to those teams and a guarantee to the visiting teams, and which really works out great for those schools. But it showcases, and that's why it's called the Showcase, the best high school basketball teams in Northeast Oklahoma.
And JB, it's all day, tip off in the morning, all tonight.
You know, the thing what Gil said, I think is so important. Even though they lose a home game, if both boys and girls are not playing, they still have that game, and they'll still have that revenue coming in. And then going to the BOK, what could prepare you more for the state tournament and the playoffs than to go down there on Saturday and play?
Exactly right.
Let's take a look at the schedule, Coach, and some great games coming up. And again, it starts a tip at 9 in the morning on Saturday, February the 10th.
9 o'clock with Muskogee girls versus the Union girls, and of course that'll be a great matchup, a Frontier Conference matchup there. And then the Edison boys and the Victory Christian boys, and that's at 10:30. And that game has become a rivalry between those two schools, and to see them play. And then the Tullahawk girls and the Skytook girls, that's a Metro Lakes Conference game. That's at noon. And then we go with Tahlequah Sequoia boys versus the Hilldale. And of course, Tahlequah Sequoia is not that far from Hilldale. Hilldale's south of Muskogee. Those are great matchups. And I'll let Evan talk about the afternoon and evening.
Oh, great sessions.
Yeah, the afternoon is fantastic. We've got Broken Arrow boys. They play against Bishop Kelly. It's the first time we've had Bishop Kelly play at this showcase. So we're really excited to have both those schools here. That's at 3:30. 5 o'clock then, East Central girls versus Booker T. Washington girls. Then we do 6:30, we do the Owasso girls versus Sand Springs girls. And then we conclude the night, 8 p.m., Booker T. Washington boys versus Memorial boys. And I know, as we've been talking with Gil and the folks at TPS, I mean, that game, we're really excited about that. They've got a lot of talent on both those rosters.
And it's really a big game because basically they play on Tuesday of this week and then again on Saturday. And so it's going to be a loser leave town, I think, on Saturday between Booker T and Memorial. Two great basketball teams, both ranked in the top 5 in their class. I think it's all of those games. The East Central Booker T girls game, what a great game that is. And of course, the Tahlequah Sequoia boys have just really annihilated people this year. So they're going to see some great basketball and great basketball players.
Give us some ticket information, Evan. I know what a bargain. You can go there, start the day, and have basketball all day and into the night.
Yeah, it's all session passes, $10 at the door. For students, it's $5. So I mean, we want to make it really affordable, so you can come either watch your favorite team or come and watch as many games as you want.
Well, I tell you, when you can only go and pay $10 and watch that many games, 8 games, I don't know how you can beat it. Yeah. I'll be there.
Well, good. We're glad. We're looking forward to having you.
Well, we know Barry Lewis will be there too. Of course, our outstanding prep writer of the Tulsa World. Barry's going to join us the next segment here to reveal to us our January player and coach of the month in high school in Oklahoma. But before that, I have a gift for Evan here. Thanks for coming in, Evan.
Evan, I know you work a lot of long hours down at the BOK. So from 6 to 2, Jimmy's Egg is open.
All right. Well, great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, and don't forget those Elton John tickets.
That's right. Okay.
All right, Evan. Again, I want to thank Evan Falat from the Bank of BOK. And I love that some of the big networks come in. They'll go, we're at the Box Center. Haven't quite got the initials yet. The BOK Center, one of Oklahoma's real gems for entertainment. Again, don't forget, it's all coming up this Saturday. It's the High School Hoops Showcase at the BOK. Back to Barry Lewis and reveal our Player and Coach of the Month in Oklahoma right after this.
One, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Remington Park is now officially open around the clock. That's right, we are 24/7.
We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight.
So when we say the party never ends, you better believe it. Remington Park, now open 24/7.
It's got to be real barbecue, right? Not some frozen meat cooked who knows where, who knows when, and then trucked in. No, it's got to be the finest cuts. It's got to be a lot of choices, like 9 different meats. It's got to be fast for dine-in, carry-out, or catering. It's got to be smoked fresh right there that day over aged pecan wood. It's got to be the place where all the barbecue wannabes take a back seat, because they can't compete. It's got to be real barbecue, right? It's got to be Billy Sims.
Billy Sims Barbecue. Eat like a champion today.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene, and we have our very special guest, a guy who works endless hours for high school athletics, and a guy that is a friend of all of us, Barry Lewis, to tell us about who the player and the coach of the month.
Well, our player of the month is from Holland Hall in Tulsa. It's Gabby Gregory, a phenomenal basketball player. Gil, you saw her back in December at the Tournament of Champions when she set a girls' tournament scoring record for the 3 games. Just an incredible player for the season. She's averaging 32 points a game. She ended January having scored at least 30 points in 7 out of 10 games. And
Wow.
talk about consistency. Her last game in January, she scored 38 points. Her first game in February, she scored 38 points. She is an incredible player. She's averaging 32 points a game. And the Lady Dutch have a great shot at reaching the state tournament.
And only a junior.
And only a junior.
Wow. Very impressive.
What about the coach of the month?
And the coach of the month is from Kingfisher, Jared Reese, who led the Yellow Jackets to the Class 4A State Boys Basketball Championship last year at 28-3. They're even better this year. They're 20-0 and ranked number 1 in 4A. So congratulations to Jared Reese of Kingfisher High School.
Barry, as we get ready here to go into postseason play, who are some of the teams we need to watch in all classes?
In Class 6A, Broken Arrow is ranked number 1, but I think overall 6A is about as wide open at this point of the year as it's been in quite a few years. And then in 5A, wow, it is loaded at the top. And we've talked earlier about Memorial and Booker T. Washington. They're going playing in the BOK Hoop Showcase, their second meeting of the week. And of course, you've got Midwest City, Carl Albert, Lawton Eisenhower, and of course, can't forget Oklahoma City Northwest, which has really, I guess, been the surprise team this year. Although you could see them coming on through the last couple of years, they kept on getting better and better. What a team that Northwest has become.
How about 4A?
In Class 4A, well, Kingfisher, we talked about Kingfisher, but 4A is, again, one of those classes where it's very interesting. The Tulsa area has some candidates. Manford has sort of been under the radar, but they're 19-1, and then some of your Tulsa Public Schools teams, you can't overlook them, even though they may not be ranked highly because they beat each other up on the court all the time with Central and McLean and even Tulsa-Webster. They're all state tournament contenders.
Well, Webster's hosting the district tournament next week.
And Barry's a regular at Jimmy's Egg.
You know, Barry, I tell you, you might be all Jimmy's team.
Yeah, all right.
Jimmy's team.
Yeah. I'll gladly be a member. Yes.
Right. From 6 to 2, they're open, and you have hamburgers or breakfast anytime.
That's right. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate you being here. Barry Lewis, the Tulsa World, with us here. Time for our parting shots now. And to lead us off with some more high school basketball notes, here's our Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Director, Gil Cloud.
As Barry talked about the postseason play, I want to encourage everyone to look at those schedules when they come out. Local teams are going to be involved in local gymnasiums all over the metropolitan area in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. And this is a time when it really comes down to the end, and you really need to support these young men and women as they get ready to play for that gold ball in the state championship. Make sure that you take a look at your newspaper, whether it's the Daily Oklahoman or the Tulsa World, and find out where your local team is playing, because in Oklahoma, every team qualifies for the playoffs.
Coach Haney, you're up.
Well, I want to talk just a little golf, because yesterday, and watching the big golf tournament that was going on in Phoenix, in Scottsdale, the fact that over 200,000 people were in there watching a golf tournament, I've never heard of that. What do we have, about 65, 70,000 watching the Super Bowl, but to have that many thousand watching. And of course, you know, the fact that we had some people there that we did know. I mean, the guy from the Oklahoma State University, Ricky Fowler. Yeah. Everybody was pulling for him for 3 days. Then he gets to the finals and he can't do it. But I just couldn't believe that the golfers were giving the fans take-home balls. They were giving them take-home T-shirts. They were doing everything for them. And yet they were standing there at 200,000. Can't believe it.
Okay, football fans, our lives are now officially over. Ended on the final play of Super Bowl 52 on Sunday night as the 98th NFL season came to a close. It started September 7th. It ended on February the 4th. The college football season began last August 26th. The regular season ended December 9th. Then, of course, there were a few 40 bowl games and the college football playoffs. That all ended on January the 8th. Now comes the longest 6 months of the year. 6 months without football. So what do we have to look forward to? Yes, there's basketball. There's college football spring practice, there's hockey, there's golf, but it's not football. So what do? Well, I have some games on DVR that get me through the long, cold winter. And you can spend more time with the wife and family too, but as long as you have it on DVR. All right, that's going to do it for Oklahoma Sports Scene. Hey, don't forget, coming on our next show, we're going to be previewing the Big 12 Wrestling Championships here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we'll have John Smith, the outstanding wrestling coach at Oklahoma State, here as part of our Oklahoma Sports Scene. And the Oilers will also be here to talk hockey. Join us next time at Oklahoma Sports Scene. Thanks for being with us. See you next time.